So it's just after past now, so we will make a start. First of all, I'm just going to run through a short presentation for you all, and then we'll pass over to the teaching staff who will give you all information on the courses that you're interested in. So first of all, thank you for attending our virtual open event. Obviously, we would like to welcome you in and show you our amazing facilities, but unfortunately, we're not able to do that at the moment. So hopefully, through this virtual event, you'll get to see everything that you need to see where you'll be studying with us next year. So first off, I'll start with a short presentation. It's just general college information that will be useful to you as a student next year. If anybody has got any questions, you can use the chat facility at the bottom of your screen. So all students will remain off camera. You won't be visible and we can't hear you. So if you have got any questions, just pop them in the Q&A or the chat button at the bottom and I'll pick those up and pass them on to the staff. So I'm just going to share my screen with you all. 1 second. Okay, so you should all be able to see that first screen now. So welcome to St Helens College. We are so pleased that you've thought that we might be an option for you for next year. So hopefully by what you see today, that'll confirm that you are wanting to study with us. So first off, if you've not yet put your application in, so you are interested in studying with us and you've come today to find out more information, but you've not yet applied, now is the time to do so. So we always recommend applying as soon as you can. Our places do fill up, so we would like you, if you are hoping to study with us, you do need to get your application in to secure your place for next year. You can apply on our website via this link, just near the bottom of the screen. So although you're here today to find out more about our travel and tourism department and the courses on offer there, we do have a range of other courses that we offer at St Helens College. So from A-levels to vocational and BTEC courses through to apprenticeship. So we have quite a wide variety of what we offer at college. So as a student at St Helens, there is some benefits for you. So all of our students are entitled to a free breakfast. So that's if you're in college on time, before 8:45, ready for your class to start, you will get a free breakfast. We also offer free travel to all of our students. So whether that's if you're on one of our free college bus routes or whether you get a free Arriva pass, you will have a means to get to college for free. We also offer free Microsoft Office 365 package. So that's for you to download on your computer at home, your computer or laptop, and that will help you with any coursework or anything along those lines. So you'll get that for free too. You'll also get student discounts, so discounts in places like the cinema and restaurants and clothes shops, all of those types of places. With your student pass, you are entitled to student discounts. So at the bottom, you'll see bursaries, free college lunch and assistance to buy course equipment and uniforms. So that is all done off financial assessment at enrolment stage, and that is quite different for each individual student. So you may be entitled to that, but that's just some of the benefits of being a student at St Helens. We also have a fantastic safeguarding and wellbeing team at the college. So if you're ever struggling with anything, whether that's something personal, whether it's college related, something at home, if you have any mental health issues or anything along those lines, we have a dedicated team that are there to support all of our students and our staff. So if there's anything you're ever struggling with or you need any support, we have got members of the team that work across our college campuses that are there to support you. We also have a learner support team. So if you have any additional learning needs, anything along the lines of dyslexia or anything like that, where you might require some support in class or support with exams or extra time or anything like that, we also have a team there to support you with that too. You would just need to be honest with us at enrolment stage and we could make sure that we get that support in place for you. So that's it from me really. All I've got left to say is if you want to follow us on our social media account. So our social media accounts are up to date with anything that's going on within college, but also some nice success stories on there as well. So there is stories about our past students. We have quite a few good success stories for our travel and tourism department as well. So if you go on there, you might get a little bit of inspiration of where you could be this time next year or the year after when you finish your course. Also, you'll see an email address there for our admissions team. So at the moment, our departments are all contacting all of our applicants to do telephone interviews. So if you've already had your interview, whether you attended college or you've already had a telephone interview, you will be fine. If you've not yet had that, our staff will be in touch with you over the next week or two. If by the 10th of July, so that's next Friday, you've not heard anything from us, please contact our admissions team and they can make our staff aware that you are still waiting on an interview just to confirm your place for September. So I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to pass over to the department staff because they've got all the exciting information that you're here to listen to. Like I said, if anybody has got any questions or anything like that, just use the Q&A or chat button at the bottom of your screen. I'll pick them up and pass them over to the staff. Okay, thanks.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're okay. I'm Dan Murphy. I'm one of the tutors in the Travel and Tourism department. This is the aviation room. So we've got the check-in desk and security things at the side. You can maybe see just above where my hand is. There's a high-vis kit hanging up. At the moment, all the COVID-19 stuff is about personal protective equipment. That all falls into aviation as well to make sure that people are safe. So I'm going to go through a short PowerPoint. There's about 6 slides on there just to show you some of the a bit of a background about the course. Okay, just pop that on there for you. Okay, so hopefully that's showing for you from the beginning. So the Travel and Tourism course for 2021, I'm going to be the program leader on that, and there's a couple of other tutors that are going to be teaching on the course. So with aviation, the idea is that you are looking at maybe potential job in the kind of working in the airports. So that could be maybe progressing on to something like air traffic controller. So that's directing the aircraft on the ground and up in the air, and a lot of communication with that one. Baggage handler, if you're wanting something more physical, so that's sorting bags before they get on the plane and when they're being offloaded, but that also comes into areas such as cargo as well. So dangerous goods, live animals that's being transported. You have customer service assistants. So if you look at down at the bottom, you've got the assistant with the wheelchair user. So that is a very kind of sensitive role that you need. You've got good customer service skills that would help you with that kind of role. There's the dispatcher, which is they coordinate the turnaround of the aircraft. So when the plane comes in, someone has got to take control and say, okay, we need the catering staff here, we need the passengers offloaded, we need the fuelers. So someone who can deal with stress quite well would maybe look at a dispatch role. Low control is when you're looking at balancing the aircraft. So you've got maybe too much weight in the front or too much weight in the back. So when the plane's in the air, it's not going to stay stable. So someone who's good at maths would be able to do that kind of job. The aircraft marshaller is the person that brings the aircraft in on stand. So maybe you've seen them, they're holding things like table tennis rackets to bring the aircraft in. Overnight at night time, because those aren't fluorescent enough, they would use lights for those. And then the usual job that most people think of is a passenger service agent. That would be face-to-face customer service on check-in and then boarding passengers onto the plane. So with check-in, you would be looking at aspects such as the documents that need to be processed, such as tickets, passports, visas, and then sorting out the baggage. So whether the baggage is within the allowance that's permitted, are they carrying dangerous goods? Again, at the moment with the COVID-19 pandemic, there are lots of rules and they're changing all the time. So from this week to in 2 weeks' time, the Prime Minister may set new rules in place. So with that, it's a fast-moving learning curve. And then you've got security officers, so that will be searching people's baggage, searching the persons, maybe doing some investigation as well. Okay, so there's lots of jobs within the aviation sector. With the course itself, the majority of the units are going to be taught by myself. So that would be like your health and safety, security check-in, and then looking at the load instruction reports and marshalling. So there's quite a lot of time that you will spend with me on the course. There are 2 other tutors on the course. We've got Rik King, who is going to be teaching the communication side of it and dealing with passengers with special requirements. So you'll be with Rik for 1 session a week, and you will also be taught by Katie on 2 of the units. So that will be airport baggage facilities. So that's when bags get lost or damaged, and support flight operations. So when a plane may be coming in on an emergency landing, so there's procedures that are in place for that as well. So you do have a variety of teachers on the course. Okay, with the targets and assessments, what you would need to cover, there are different assessment methods. So you may have written ones, such as using Word or PowerPoint. A few of the units also have role plays as well. So the check-in, boarding, dealing with special status passengers. The marshalling has a demonstration. And then there are some short answer questions and task sheets that are attached to some of the units as well. So with the short answer questions, a lot of them are past merit distinction, but it's the amount of revision that you do will gain you the qualification that you're going to get. So it's about putting the effort in. College standards for attendance and punctuality are 95% and above. We do understand that people may have medical appointments. With the timetable, there are a couple of days that you should be free to be able to do those. But the idea is that you really focus on getting those. If you're wanting a good reference from us, or you want to progress onto another course, other employers don't want to see someone who's not going to be reliable for work. So it's making sure that you're in on time. You've got 9 o'clock starts on your timetable. So if you're living further afield, maybe Wigan, Warrington, then you have to look at getting an early bus in. With other targets that we set for you, personal appearance, we do have people coming in from industry. What they are looking at is you are a potential employee of theirs. So what they will want is that you comply with the uniform standards. With the uniform standards, we go through that more on the induction week. And if you apply for the bursary, it may be that you can get the part of the uniform included within the bursary. Some of you may already have GCSE maths and English at grade 4 and above. If you have those, then you will be doing additional skills development. For those of you that come in with a maths or English grade 3, then you will be expected to resit that, and there is provision on the timetable for you to do your maths and English as well. So that's within the normal set of timetable that you've got. Again, a lot of employment, they ask for a good standard of maths and English. So the benchmark for that is a grade 4 of maths and English, so you will be expected to attend those as well. What we do want is you to continue with your positive behaviour and your good attitude to learning. We don't want to hear from other tutors that you're walking in with a sour face. We want you to, because customers in the airport want you to be positive as well, and that they can see that you want to be there. So it is looking forward at that type of thing. Within your timetable as well, for the aviation students, there is an online learning session. So 1 day a week, there will be online learning, and you will be expected to participate in that. Also, voluntary to do college events such as the open evenings and interview evenings, meeting customers in reception and bringing them upstairs. We also have trips and visits, which I'll go through as well. Okay, so we have some trips and visits provisionally booked. With these, some of it you may get on bursary, but others you may have to pay the full amount for. So at the moment, we're looking at 1 in October, November, December, and in February for day trips. So October would be over to Manchester Airport to see the Concorde, which ties into some of the health and safety aspects. So if you're not aware of Concorde, down the bottom corner, this is what it looks like. It was a supersonic flight that went across from the UK to America. Not like it is now, 6 hours, that you got there in 3 hours, so a lot quicker. There is a flight experience over to Belfast. So going over to Belfast from Liverpool, spending the day in Belfast, comparing how Belfast and Liverpool airports work. Then relating to security, it would be going to the Customs Museum in Liverpool. And then in February, we're looking at a second UK flight experience. So again, because not all of the airlines have released flights, we're not 100% sure which airport that's going to be too. But we're looking at the estimated cost of those for the return flight is about £60 for both the Belfast one and the second flight as well. And then in April 2021, we're looking at a 3-night overnight residential to Spain. So the idea is that we'll go to Barcelona, but there are alternative airports in that region as well. You've got Reus and Girona as well. So you can see a different culture, and if you're thinking of working in travel, you need to get used to kind of different cultures as well. We have a link with Swissport, who are the largest ground handling company in the UK. At the moment, we're waiting for them to let us know about visits to Liverpool Airport, and the staff from the airport come into us as well. So they support you with your learning. They'll give you like kind of first-hand experience of how things work in the airport. So it's not just me and Rik and Katie telling you. They will come in and they'll give you a true picture as well about how things are. If you're looking to progress, there are internal progression routes. So some of you may think, oh, well, I want to do travel and tourism down the line and be a rep, or I may want to do cabin crew. So you could use aviation as your first step in, or you may do level 2 travel first and then do aviation. We can kind of mix and match with the progression routes for that. So to get onto the other course, it is making sure that your attendance, punctuality are all up to standard. And if there are requirements for GCSE grades C and above, grade 4 and above, then you've got those. Some other students have progressed into other courses within the college. So if they were thinking maybe security, they've gone to public services. They may want to go more technical with engineering, or they may want to look at the finance side of the aviation operation and done business studies. Sometimes they may want to do more personal care, so they may link it to aviation, then overseas repping and working as a children's rep. So some have actually moved on to childcare. So there is quite a variety of courses you could move along to. So hopefully that will have given you enough kind of idea of where it's going. So what the industry would look at, just a few things like flexibility, because you're going to be working shifts. You may be working at 4 in the morning or finishing at midnight. You need to be adaptable, so you could be on check-in and they'll say, oh, we need to come off there, we need to go and meet a flight that's been delayed, and dealing with those passengers. Reliability is key. If you're going to be expecting to go there at 4 in the morning, then you will need to be able to get there. You can't rely on parents, friends, family to get out of bed and take you. You've got to learn to drive, get your own car and be able to get there. Punctuality and attendance is a theme throughout. If you don't turn up, someone else has got to cover you. If they've got 3 members of staff on check-in and you don't turn up, the other 2 have then got 180 passengers between them to deal with, and maybe only 1 person down at the gate to board. So it does cause problems. So we're trying to instill that employability skill in you while you're at college. Honesty is a key thing, because you will be dealing with people's personal details, whether you're on a ticket desk taking the credit card details, or there's sensitive issues about them when they're traveling. So that includes that to get a job in the airport, you would have to do a DBS check. So that's the old criminal records check, to make sure that there's no underlying threats to the airport. And personality is very important. Show that you've got a personality. Don't hide under a rock. Show that you've got some kind of something to give out there. Because if you've got the personality to deal with things, the customers will warm to you as well. So think about, you're going to have a 5-year history, reference history, and to get an airport pass, you need 18 years of age. So again, when you're looking at some of the other courses, you have to bear that in mind if you're working abroad or you're working as cabin crew as well. Okay, so I think that's everything for me on that one. So just take that one off. Oops. So from that, if I pass you over to Rik and Vicki, and they will tell you about some of the other courses that's available to you. Again, if you've got any questions, just pop them on the side and then we'll be able to look at those for you.
Dan's still there. I can still see Dan.
We can see you, don't worry. It flashes over. The students will see you as soon as you talk.
All right, okay. It's all new, this. Well, I'm just going to quite quickly go over the cabin crew course. We will send out more information, we'll send out more things actually for you once you've been offered a place on the course. The cabin crew course is structured very much to mirror an ab initio new entrant training course. So the training course which you'll do as crew when you do start with an airline. So taking that into consideration, we try and cover as many things on the course as what you're going to need in preparation for the ab initio training course itself. So the biggest thing we'll cover will be safety. That's going to be planned emergencies, unplanned emergencies, what you do in rapid decompression, what you do if there's a fire on board the aircraft. And the cabin that I'm sitting on now, we use this for a lot of things. We use it for the fire training, we use it for the evacuations, we use it for a variety of different practicals. We cover security, so what would you do if you found a bomb on board the aircraft, if there's a terrorist attack, any kind of security that's going to affect the aircraft themselves. So how you do an aircraft sweep to check to see what's on there, lost property checks, anything to do with security. We cover aviation medicine, so AVMed, so first aid on board. 35,000 feet, if you're going to call an ambulance, it's not going to be able to meet you, so it's going to be down to you to do it. So we have to look at all different parts of first aid, so everything from childbirth to heart attack to death on board to asthma attack. So anything you can think that's medical, we'll have to look at it and then cover it. To assist with the AVMed, we also bring in an external trainer as well from Ouch. So she'll come in and she'll actually help us with some of the practical side of it. Then customer service, that's the bit that most of the passengers do see. So we do focus on how you deal with disruptive passengers, how you're going to deal with just general inquiries day to day, different types of meal services, different types of cabin classes, pretty much everything you can kind of think of on the customer service side of it, and sales too, because airlines have a massive thing now with sales. It's how they make a lot of their money. So we have to look at how crew sell things and what the incentive is to sell and to get passengers to buy things. So that's another part we look at. But really, probably most importantly for you, we spend a lot of time looking at the preparation for employment part, because the course really is focused, and the whole thing is about employability, about trying to be able to get your job at the end of it, at least get you prepared for that job. So we do spend a lot of time on the prep for employment part, looking at application forms, CVs, and then we actually do put you through a full mock assessment day. You will also need to complete ground operations. So with Dan talking about aviation just then, you will do an aviation certificate. It won't be as in depth as what Dan's just gone over, but it is like a kind of watered down, kind of a smaller version of that, just to give you an idea of what it is on the ground. And it's really useful because it means you've got that background knowledge when you have to liaise and work with the ground staff and you do start doing the actual job itself. The course is very in-depth. What I've kind of got over really quickly, we do spend a lot of time on things. The course is very in-depth, and the fact is we'll start in September, and we aim to complete by around April. So it's ready for when the new season does start. So you need to expect to be in every single day from Monday till Friday. You will be starting most days around 9 o'clock, some days you'll be here till 5. It is full on, because the course is going to be front loaded to make sure we are finished in that amount of time. We have very high expectations of the students, of the trainee students on the course when you do start. We do treat it like a new entrant course. So we do expect you to have come in with that professionalism, with that maturity. And that's one thing we'll be looking for when we do actually interview you and when we start the actual course itself. So we really do have very high expectations. Punctuality, expect you to be here on time. So if the class starts at 9 o'clock, we expect you to be ready, sat down by 5 to 9 at the very latest. Same with attendance. If attendance drops below 99%, then we do want to know why, what's going on, what's happening. And it's all to mirror the job, because an aircraft's not going to wait for you, the crew can't wait for you, so it's very much getting you ready for the actual job itself. Trainees are in uniform, and that's a big part of it. So our uniform standards do mirror the same as the airlines do. Uniforms we'll discuss a lot more on the induction week. If you've got any questions about it after this, then by all means do ask. The course is very industry specific, with employability and skills to ensure that you're going to, at the end of the course, you're going to go away with the skills, so that when you go into a new entrant course, it's more like a refresher and you'll know what different things are and how all different things work. So we do make full use of this cabin. for a lot of the safety and customer service role plays and the assessments. It is how it is assessed. It's a mix of practicals and written assessments with quite a few exams thrown in there as well. And we also bring in industry exams, so the ones which are actually being used on the new entrant training courses at the moment. Exam pass marks on the course about 98, 100% pass mark. You see, you are expected to learn this because you're going to need it. You want to need it and you have to go do the job. The written work, everything that which we teach you on the course, adding you here, it's not going to necessarily be that much of a challenge. It's just being here, getting involved, and really you've got to have a passion for the industry. We invite in a lot of guest speakers from various airlines. Some of them are previous students that have been away either for 1 year or for 5 years or plus now that were flying. So they'll come in and they'll have a chat with you about what it's like and what they're doing at the moment. We have had excellent student employability success, really, really high employability success. Last year, the course that just finished, there was out of the 16, 14 got jobs flying. Obviously, with the pandemic, they've now been put on hold, but we do have very high employment rates. However, when you do start, we will go over this more, but you need to be aware that it's going to be affected a lot next year because of the pandemic and the devastating impact it's had on the aviation industry. So that's one thing we'll have to make sure that I'm very confident that you're aware of, and if you've got any questions about it, you do need to ask me, because employment next year with cabin crew as it stands at the moment is going to be very, 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 very hard to get places. So it's going to be quite a challenge for me as much as what it is for you to try and help you get sorted. Trips, we also do the trips on the cabin crew course. There is wet drill water survival training. So we'll go to Fleetwood and we'll go do that. So you need to be able to swim. So we're doing the wet drill survival training, and you'll come away with a certificate from those, and you'll get that, go away and put your CV and use, and you've got to go do the job. Fan flight experience, planning that for January next year. If it all goes to plan, it's the same as I've done the past few years. We will fly out with Jet2, and on board the aircraft, you'll get to observe the crew. You'll get to see, we'll do a little bit of training with you inside the galleys and get you to get involved with as much of what you possibly can do. More service side than safety, because obviously you won't be operational crew. Then we'll stay in Tenerife for a couple of nights, and then we'll fly back and do the same thing on the way back again. Really beneficial to get to see what the crew are doing. By the time we go in January, you've got an idea of how things work and everything. So it's really beneficial for you just to see what the crew do and try and put theory into and see theory being put into practice. As I said, all of this will be discussed in a lot more detail on induction. We'll go through, and there's a lot more with the trips and the cost of trips and things like that. We will go through that. But if you have any questions about it in the intro, you can always ask. Course entry requirements. We are strict with the course entry requirements. That's just to ensure that the course is right for you and that you've got the skills required ready to get you employed with the airline. So if you don't already know, you're going to need to have a GCSE Maths and English grade 4 or C or above or equivalent. You need to have the ability to swim, so pretty much one end of a pool to the other. You need to be above 5'2". No visible tattoos, be able to pass an EASA medical. So when you do start an airline, you have to go through the medical. So you need to be able to be physically fit enough and be able to meet the requirements for that. Because we have a very high expectation of attendance, and so do the airlines, they will ask for a report on your attendance when you do leave. I will need to see if you've been in the college. I can see it from the college systems, but if not, you'll need to bring in some form of attendance record from a previous employer or place of education just to show that your attendance is a high level of attendance. So we're looking at around 95% or above. You'll need to be 18 before the end of March 2021. We do this because you won't be able to get employment as crew until you are 18. You can't get like a security ID. So you do need to be 18 before the end of March 2021. If you don't meet any of these criteria, then there are other courses and other routes available up until that point. But we are very strict on the criteria, and that is one of the things we'll discuss with you on the interview. If you happen to be over 19 on enrolment, there's also a cost for the course. So if you can be 19 after the 28th of August, then if you can be 19 after the 28th of August, then there is a charge of the course. So, but if that's an individual, then I can have a chat with you about that at another point. If you've not already had an interview, you're going to need one. You will need to get applying to make sure you do have an interview, because the places are quite limited on the course, so we do need to have a chat with you. If you have already had an interview and you've been offered a conditional place, I will have sent out quite a bit of information to you and things you need ready for the course. If you haven't had that, will you get in touch with me somehow? Either you can email or email back to admissions, and then they'll let me know and I'll send the information out to you. I think for now that's, because on induction we'll discover a lot more detail. I think for now that's kind of everything I can think of. So I'll pass you across to Vicki, and then Vicki teaches on the cabin crew course as well. So you're going to see quite a lot of me and Vicki. But Vicki will chat with you about travel. So shall I move? Move. Yeah.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Vicki. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the general travel qualifications, where there is 3 of them. There's a level 1 and a level 2 and a level 3. All of the 3 qualifications are similar in terms of what you're going to learn on the programme, which covers everything from geography. So that will be UK geography, European, up to like long haul worldwide geography. You look at events and conferences, you look at marketing, business, being a holiday rep, all different elements of the travel and tourism industry. Obviously level 1, level 2 and level 3 depends purely on your GCSE grades. So for level 3, we will be expected to have English and maths at either 4 and above or C and above or equivalent, plus 3 other GCSEs above the grade 4. And for level 2, you will be expected to have grade 3 in English and maths and about 3 others at that grade. And then level 1 is anything sort of with less than grade 3 at GCSE. And we obviously look at that all in enrolment as well. So all 3 courses follow a similar structure where you have different units that are delivered throughout the week, and each unit will have different forms of assessment, whether that be a role play, a written piece of work, a practical, a presentation, and you will all be assessed and achieve pass, merit or distinction, so you do get a specific grade. And then once you have completed the year, you have a chance to progress on. So level 1s will have a chance to progress on to level 2, which will be very dependent on attendance, attitude, submission of work, ability to move up to the next level. Level 2 obviously can move on to level 3, or can look at one of the specific courses that we've just been talked about, so the aviation or cabin crew, depending again on GCSE grades and how you've been in that first year. Level 3 is slightly different, so it's run as a 1-year programme. So after year 1, you achieve a level 3 90 credit diploma, and then you can walk away and do something completely different if you want, or you can actually then progress on to the 2nd year and almost do a top-up where you actually make it into an extended diploma, and so it's almost like a 2-year level 3 qualification. That will then give you UCAS points to go on to university if you want to go straight from your college, or even 5-10 years down the line as well. So there's 3 different courses and they can all progress onto something different, but level 3 can be topped up to a 2-year one, which gives you the extended. All 3 courses have different trips and visits on them. So level 1, all different really, but like, for example, level 3 will be going to Eurocamp, and where they'll be shadowing the careers out there. So you'll be there for 3-4 nights, and level 2 will be doing trips and visits, and also level 1. So I'll be telling you a little bit more about all those at induction. Similar to what Rik and Dan have said, we expect 95% and above attendance. You will have a tutorial session as well, where you talk about things that aren't necessarily related to the coursework, but it could be anything to do with getting to college, anything that you're struggling with, or trying to get your grades up to a different level, anything that's sort of relevant to the course but not necessarily to do with the coursework. And you will all be expected to look the part and wear uniform to standards and attend and be punctual for all lessons. You can obviously after the first year go on to do something completely different or stay within the travel industry, but like as Rick just mentioned, for cabin crew, get most jobs in the travel industry, you have to be 18. So a lot of the time it's working out when you come from school what you're going to do for those 2 years. So if you are going to do a level 2, you're going to do a level 2 for a year and then go on to do cabin crew for a year, or if you're going to do level 3, you're going to do the 2-year qualification, just so you've got more of a long-term goal that leads to the career that you're wanting to do, if you know that. I think anything else I need to say really. They are very general, and there's a lot of different units on it, and we do get employers in talking to you, past students come in as well, and all tutors that've spoken to you today, and other tutors, we sort of teach on each other, so it's nice, so you get a different slant and a different type of teaching method for all the different units. I think that's it. Thank you.
Okay, fab. So we have had some questions through, so I don't know whether you just want to discuss these between yourselves, or first question we've got through is from an anonymous attendee. So do we know when we will start? So what date in September we'll start, and do we know what the lessons and timetables will be up to now?
I know the lessons and timetables
Seventh, yeah. 7th it'll start. That'll be the induction weeks. That's the week we'll expect you to be in for induction. Timetables, we usually have those on enrolment, but sometimes it can vary, because if we expect to have one, maybe to have a travel course, and we turn to have 2, so everything changes. So rather than being disruptive and saying, this is what you're doing, we wait till we know we're pretty much certain, then you get the timetable then, just to try and make it less disruptive, especially for the travel courses. That's right. Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like the 7th of September was that?
7th of September, yeah.
Okay, fab. And then we've got, due to COVID restrictions, are you planning full class groups or staggered bubbles?
Full class.
Sorry, the sound's not great. I can't really hear you at the minute. I'm not sure what happened.
Dan's going to...
Oh, that's better.
I've got a big mouth, that's probably why. Yeah, we're thinking about, it's just going to be normal classes, purely because the class sizes are smaller than in schools anyway. So I think like the cabin crew room can hold about 16 students, and then some of the others can't. So there'll be smaller class sizes anyway. So at the moment, no, the only way we're going to do the bubbles is, we were told today it might be under curriculum bubbles. There might just be that travel students is in one bubble, and then so forth. So, but no, the class sizes will, with a lot of our courses, we need you all in the same time to get the interaction, doing the practicals and things. So, you know, the classes will run as they normally do, hopefully.
According to government guidelines, obviously government guidelines will be followed. So as long as we're doing that we're not doing anything wrong, are we? And then we've had another one then, on interview, you weren't sure whether the entertainment rep unit was going to be part of the new travel and tourism qualification. Will it be included? So this girl must have already had an interview with you guys.
Okay. With this one, Abigail.
Yeah.
So with this one, on the new specification that we've got, which is the NCFE, the entertainment unit isn't in there's still a reps unit, but not an entertainment one.
Right, okay. Hopefully that's answered your question then, Abigail. So that's all the questions I've got so far. Has anybody else got anything that they want to ask? I know it's been quite a lot of information that you've been given there, so it might be that everything's being covered. But if anybody has got any questions, you've got a couple of seconds to get them in now before we wrap up. So we'll just hang on for a couple of seconds. Oh, another question. When do we have the uniform? So I'm guessing they'll mean when do they need to order it?
Yeah, on enrolment, you'll be able to, they're trying to do an app, so like a sizing app, that's being sorted out at the moment. But on enrolment, you'll get to do that. And then on induction, for the cabin crew course and induction, I'll go through things like badges and scarves, ties, shoes, and those type of things. So usually you'll start to order it on enrolment. Induction week, we discuss it further, and then we try to get you in uniform as quickly as we possibly can. So usually they're in about 2 weeks into the course, we have people in uniform. So when you first start, you'll be told on enrolment, we expect you to start coming in kind of business dress. With the cabin crew one, usually they'll come in business dress. Day 2, your hair and your makeup for the girls. Well, boys, if they want it. They'll be following the standards, but in business dress. And it's pretty much the same with the course, I think, isn't it? To be smart dressed from when you first start, and then about 2 weeks you'll be in uniform. So don't worry about that. Wait till enrolment, and then we'll discuss that with you and get that sorted.
Okay, so another one we've had is, when is enrolment? So I'll answer that one. So enrolment will start when you get your GCSE results. So enrolment is, I think this year, is it the 20th of August? Yeah, so that's when enrolment will start. But enrolment does go on for a couple of weeks, but the sooner you enrol, the better, obviously, to get your place on the course. So I've had another one. What is the travel and tourism uniform like?
For level 1 and level 2, generally don't wear a uniform. But the level 3, I'll just double check with Vicki on that one.
Okay.
Vicki, we can't hear you very well. I think it's because you're on the other side to where the mic is on the laptop.
Can you hear me better now?
I can hear you now, yeah.
So the level 3 uniform is a navy blue skirt, dress or trousers for the girls, navy blue trousers for the boys, white blouse or shirt, and then some sort of like jacket to go over the top. We haven't decided on the colour of the scarf yet. Obviously, if the girls are wearing skirts, it's to wear skin coloured tights and navy blue shoes ideally, but if they are really hard to find, then we will consider black as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Is it 5 days a week only because another college have said that they have, is it 5 days a week only because another college said they have a day off? So is our course 5 days a week?
We don't know yet. So it can be 5 days a week. It can be 4 days a week. Generally, if it's 5 days a week, it'll be shorter days. If it's 4 days, you'll be in like 9 till 5. But we don't even know that yet. So it can be 5 days, but it might be 4 as well.
Okay. So I've had another one. I wanted to study makeup in my first year of college. Would I be able to transfer to cabin crew after I've completed that?
It would all depend, like Rik said before, it depends on having GCSE maths and English at grade 4 and above or C and above. Obviously, if it was doing the course here, it would making sure that the attendance is above 95%. We would speak to tutors on that course to see, obviously, that the sort of how they've progressed during that year. So it would be exactly the same as somebody externally coming in. We'd just make sure that they met all the criteria.
Okay, brilliant. So another question, I'm 5'1". Does this mean I couldn't do cabin crew?
Can't do it yet, unfortunately. Really, it's not us, it's the airlines wouldn't accept you. Yeah.
Okay.
With something like that, one thing to think about is if you're only 16 now, there's the chance that you may grow, but it's that chance.
Yeah, but that's obviously something that's come from airlines. That's not necessarily just us saying that we wouldn't accept you. Okay. Sure. Is makeup allowed to be worn? If so, how much? What type of makeup are they allowed to wear? So I'm guessing they mean, like, are they allowed to have like false eyelashes and that sort of thing?
It's got to be. Can you hear me all right? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah, right. Yeah, we're moving. So that's musical chairs. We keep everything to what you'd expect to be within industry. So it would have to be natural. So if the false eyelashes are on, then they would have to be natural ones. We don't want those great big party things on. So it has to look natural. Is what pretty much what's expected. Same with lipstick colours, nail varnishes. So it's with a certain nail varnish colours, we say yes, you can wear those. No, you can't wear those colours. It is just exactly the same as what's expected within industry. So yeah, it's just to keep that. It's that professional look. Really, when you are here, a lot of employers come in, we take you out to a lot of places. That first impression is so important, and it is the one which will be remembered. So we want to get you in the right place to put yourself across in that with that right impression. So yeah, we do expect them to wear makeup, but then it's a more natural professional look about it.
Okay, and then another one, are the interviews done online? I think they're all being done by telephone, is that right?
Yes, some are being done by telephone. If we don't happen to get them done before the enrolment starts, then for the cabin crew ones, I have asked that I'll be able to do those actually in college and do those face-to-face, because it's much easier for me to speak to people and go through it that way.
Okay, another good question. Does the height 5'2" include when you've got your shoes on, or is that barefoot?
Right. you've got to be flat-footed, no shoes on. The British Airways do something called a touch test. I'll tell you why they do it. They do it because if you're not tall enough, you can't open up the aircraft doors, you can't open up the overhead lockers to get the safety equipment out. So they are very strict with it. They will actually put you against a measurement when you go for an interview day. As soon as you go in for your interview day, they'll take all your details, take your name and all the rest of it. Then the first things they do is they will stand you to see if you're the right height. And if you aren't, that's it. That's the end of the day done. They'll even ask you to sit in a cabin crew seat and ensure you can fasten the harness, because if you can't fasten the harness, it's another safety thing. So yeah, you've got to be no shoes on, flat-footed, and they will measure your height and ask you to do a reach test as well. So yeah, they are very strict on it. There's no way around that.
So yeah, so we have to be strict on that really, because it wouldn't be fair to put you through that course and then setting you
on the course. It's going to be false hope, isn't it? Because the ones the course can't get the job, you've wasted a year. We've wasted a year, so it's no point. We'd never want to set somebody up with false hope for anything. We've got to give you the best chances of getting the job. So that's why we do mirror the entrant requirements.
Okay, brilliant. And then there's just another one. Is there a maximum height?
6 foot 1, 6 foot 2, depending on the airlines. That's where it can vary a little bit. So if you're not higher than 6 foot 1, you'll be all right. One airline did used to let you be 6 foot 2, but generally it's 6 foot 1, isn't it? And that's kind of what you're expected to be now.
Okay. Is there a uniform for aviation?
Oh, go on, Daniel.
There is a uniform for aviation, but when you think about the different jobs within the airport, if someone comes onto the course and the idea is that they want to do baggage handling, I wouldn't expect them to wear a shirt and tie in college, because in reality in the job they wouldn't be wearing that. So the aviation, you kind of wear a theme of clothing really. So we have a uniform standard, so you would still need to be smart, and we have set things that you can wear. So if you were going to wear, say if you were thinking of doing a job that's outside like dispatch, a dispatcher wouldn't wear high heels if it was a female. They would wear flat shoes. So if you were coming into college with flat shoes on, then that would be more realistic to the environment that you would be working in. So we do have a uniform, but it's not the same as cabin crew uniform, which is very strict and follows guidelines. The aviation is so diverse that if you choose a different kind of theme of something, as long as it kind of matches, that's fine. So in the past, we've had kind of male students who've worn a polo t-shirt and a black fleece. So that was something that was the kind of role that they would go into. So I think it depends on the person and what they feel comfortable in. Some ladies on check-in would prefer to wear trousers rather than a skirt. They wear flat shoes rather than heels. So there is more flexibility within the aviation side. And as well, I know you were saying about makeup and things. It's about looking natural and not looking scary, so that you're not going to scare customers away. I know it's sometimes a bit stereotypical, but you've kind of got to think of like the industry in general. With things like aviation as well, there isn't a maximum height, a maximum, like a minimum height or maximum height. If you're behind the check-in desk, you can do that, or you can lift your chair up, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, so from the back of that, it's just sent another bit that says, if we want to continue on to cabin crew after aviation, would we dress for that sort of role throughout their time on the aviation course?
That would be kind of personal choice, really. You could wear, while you're on the aviation course, if you wanted to wear trousers and flat shoes, you could do it. If you wanted to wear a skirt and heels, you could do that. So long as you kind of dress towards what you feel is the role that you want to portray.
Okay, and then just a final question that I've got at the minute, I'm not sure if any others will come in. Does the travel and tourism course get sent through, so the students for the travel and tourism course get sent any work through to do in preparation before they start the course in September? So is there anything that they'll need to receive to be doing over the summer?
Yes, there is an activity. I think it's getting sent out by marketing, but I will check that when I go back to the staff room. So there's a piece of work and they can bring it in at enrolment, or they can email it to me before then with all the information on. So it needs to be done sort of in the next few weeks. But I'll check with marketing, but it'll probably go out via email for that. So once they've applied, then that'll go direct to them. And it's a written piece of work with research to do.
So is that, I think, was that already sent out a couple of weeks back?
I think so. It should have been, yeah. I've
Yeah.
just not received many back, so I didn't know if it had been sent out.
Yeah, so it's our team that sent it out. So they definitely went out. I think it was roughly around the middle to end of May. So if you've applied after then, you won't have received it. So again, I'll pop my email into, in fact, I'll pop the email address into the chat facility. If you've not yet received that applicant activity pack, drop us an email to applicants@sthelens.ac.uk. I'll put that in the chat, and we'll get that sent out to you, because yeah, if you've applied after they've been sent out, you won't have received it yet. But if you've applied before then, you should have it in your inbox, in your emails, and you just need to complete that task and send it in to us. And then there was another question anyway we need to do before we start, but we've just answered that one, so that's done. Oh, please may I have Richard's email, as I haven't been sent any information yet. Thanks.
I think I know who this student is. I've tried phoning her. Yeah, if she emails me, it's R Mumby, so R for Romeo, M for Mike, U for uniform, M for Mike, B for Bravo, Y for Yankee, at St Helens.ac.uk. So if you email me, if you have any difficulty with that, then just email at one of the admissions department, and they'll pass it on to me. Then I'll send everything out to you. So I just want to double check, it's RMUMBY at St Helens. I've just typed it in, so that student will have that email. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so it looks as though there's no other questions at the moment. So I've got a couple of seconds if anyone wants to pop any more in. But I do think it's been quite thorough. You've answered quite a lot there to do with uniforms and everything. So hopefully you've all found that really useful. The applicant's email, which is the email address that I pick up. So if anybody's got any questions, you can drop an email to there. You can also drop Rik an email if that's something, if there's a question that you want to direct to the team. Hopefully you've got everything that you needed from the session today. If you've not yet put your application in, again, you do need to do that as soon as you can. Obviously, we need to get interviews in place and that sort of thing. Sorry, I'll pop the email into the chat for you, 1 second. So other than that, no other questions have come in, so we're going to end the session there. So thank you all so much for attending. Hopefully you found it really useful. Anything that you think of later on, if you thought your wishes have asked a question, you are going to receive an email to thank you for attending the session. So there'll be contact details on there. Anything you think you've missed or anything you want to ask, you can always send to us and we will get that directed onto the team. So thanks for attending. Good luck with your GCSE results, and we'll look forward to welcoming you to St Helens College in September. Thanks everyone. Thank you. Thanks. Bye. Thanks. Bye.